I am joined now by Kristyn Wong-Tam, Toronto City Councillor for Ward 27, downtown Toronto. Good morning, Kristyn.
Good morning, Joel.
Thanks for being here, and I know you are supporting a motion, a proposal to ban the sale of shark fin soup within Toronto. Can you tell me why that's important to you?
Well, it's important for a couple of reasons. One is about ecological sustainability, and the ban is actually about the consumption and sale of shark fin products, so not necessarily just in its soup form. We have seen quite a large-scale onslaught of bad behavior in terms of the world's oceans, where 73 million sharks every year are hauled up and dredged up from the bottom of the ocean in these massive fishing operations, and the bodies of the sharks are brought into the hull of the boats, where the fins are literally hacked off and retained, and the carcass of the shark is thrown back into the bottom of the ocean, and that really is about an unsustainable type of fishing practice, and it's going to ultimately lead to extinctions of shark species.
In terms of the worldwide market, I mean, obviously Toronto isn't going to be the biggest client, but how many shark fins are sold and consumed in the city of Toronto?
It's a great question. I don't have the data to be able to answer that properly. I can tell you that there are movements afoot in Asia as well that are also calling for a ban of shark fin products and the sale and consumption. We have movements in Hong Kong, which is a very large market, as well as in mainland China. And it really has everything to do with trying to literally shut down the demand for this particular product. So therefore we can actually try to stop and curb people's behavior, because it's largely market driven.
Legally, how can Toronto ban the sale and consumption of what is otherwise a legally sold product in Canada? You know, for example, could Toronto ban the sale and consumption of tobacco products?
Yeah, I mean, there are right now about 90 countries around the world that have banned the act of shark finning, which is what I just described to you. But it does not ban the import or the sale or the trade of the shark fin itself. So the act of procuring the shark fin is not allowed in international waters, not allowed in Canadian waters, but somehow there is a policy gap that allows us to bring the shark fin into the country. And, we are asking, Councillor Glenn de Beermaker and I are asking the Municipal Licensing and Standards Committee to review and report back to Council, number one, what would it take to implement the ban, and how do we operationalize it? And hopefully we'll have a report back by the fourth quarter of Council, which means that we should be able to see that move through the committee level and Council before the end of this year. So there is time. It's not a ban that's going to take place tomorrow. And during this time, along the summer, we are going to be going out to the community with a campaign that's called Celebrate Sharks. And we're trying to drum up public awareness and to let the public know that this is an unsustainable practice. We're trying to be environmental stewards and good stewards, leaders in the Toronto area, and we hope that it's going to be successful.
And I guess you started to answer my next question there already. What are the next steps? Obviously, we're waiting for this report back from Municipal Licensing and Standards as to how or if we can even implement a ban. And then what are the next steps at Council? Which committee would this go to, and when could we expect to see votes either in committee or in Council?
It would go through committee, and it would go through MLS, and then after MLS approves it, and hopefully we'll be able to produce petitions with our goal is to collect 10,000 signatures by the end of the summer, and to produce that and deliver that to the MLS committee for consideration when they sit down and evaluate the staff report and recommendations. Obviously, we didn't do this without speaking to staff first, and there were preliminary consultations with staff, and there was so there's staff guidance to it, and it is all entirely doable. And Toronto would not be the first jurisdiction to ban this product. Brantford, Ontario already has led the ban. I know I've spoken to city councillors in the city of Markham and Richmond Hill who are watching us very closely. I heard today that the city of Oakville is now again watching what's going to take place in Toronto, and as well as Vancouver and Ottawa. So there's a bit of interest in the local jurisdiction, and that's a good thing. But they all seem to be watching to see what happens on the floor of council in Toronto. And if Toronto is successful in implementing the ban, I suspect that we're going to see many other jurisdictions follow suit, especially in Canada.
My last question, to change gears a little bit. You're brand new to council this term, and I wonder what has been your biggest frustration so far, and what was your most pleasant surprise when you showed up to council?
Oh, that's a great question. I think probably the biggest frustration at council so far is watching and observing the ideologically driven debates. Sometimes it feels so hyper-partisan that perhaps I don't think that it's necessarily providing good government and leadership to Torontonians who deserve better. They've asked us to come to City Hall and to work collaboratively, and that has not been always a pleasant experience. I'll be honest about that. And the biggest surprise about council is probably just how old the furniture is. My desk that I'm sitting on, I'm still at work right now, I'm at work, is the same age period of when the building was built. So I'm sitting with 50-year-old furniture, and it's not always stable. So that's the biggest surprise for the head of the biggest, largest jurisdictional government in Canada to not be able to refurbish the furniture. But at the same time, I think there's other pressing city needs, so maybe it's not the top spending priority for us.
Well, thank you so much for joining us to bring us up to date on this important issue, and we'll be following the story and following this attempt to get a ban in the City of Toronto.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.